want to grow as a grower? Are you tired of being put to sleep by your educational growcasts? Are you tired of hearing about products you don't fucking want and can't afford? Are you tired of being told how you should grow? Hi, I'm Johnny Apple, and joining me is everyone's favorite amphibian, the Reverend Pirate Frog. Join us as we sift through the bullshit on the internet and try to get better as growers. This is your average grow.
In fact, I think because so many people are like, fuck, I missed it. Righty. Hold on a second. I'll get it started. So we do the whole hey dude, hey man thing. And then I'll bring you in.
Cool. I'll go on your lead.
Perfect. Hey dude.
Hey man, what's up?
Hey, I got a very special guest, almost a guest of all-time honors. It's my buddy Alebrije.
Yo, what's up?
What's going on, man? Glad to have you here.
Finally, man. It's good to be here. I'm chatting with my pals.
I know, it's exciting, and I hate to ruin everybody's fun, but you're also going to be the next guest on the circle, so it's just going to be an ultimate experience.
I can't wait. We've got a lot to talk about. Man, the Tangy Tipa Guana Grow, so much fun. I just want to start by thanking you two guys in particular for kicking the whole thing off and getting everybody really amped for it. And man, did it go better than I ever expected. It was so much fun watching all the different styles of grow and different phenotypes pop up, and some were just blew my mind.
Oh yeah, it was an absolute blast, and there are just amazing people out there growing some amazing plants.
Yeah, there really was. It was crazy to see.
And congratulations, man. You pulled it off, and you've managed to drop, I think, 150 other packs since then.
I heard you call out 32 drops or 32 something.
Drops.
On the last episode. We've done 3 drops. That's it. Plus a little holiday merch drop. That was it.
That's true, but it's just every time we gotta fight for them and throw blows with our brothers. You remember them differently, I guess.
Well, I appreciate you. The drops they've sold out, but they're around for hours. So if you show up on time, it's not a problem.
And the packaging and everything is great. And, we'll get into that, but I know Johnny has a very important question for you.
Yeah, I mean, I like to bring the guests on and just kind of ask them, like, how you got into cannabis. Like, what started your relationship? What started you down this path?
Great question. I have a strong relationship with cannabis and have since about my sophomore year of high school. I got into it. I was actually my first experience was the summer after my sophomore year in high school, and I had just been an exchange student in Frankfurt, Germany, and that was like a summer of first, the first time I had ever had beer and felt drunk. I also that summer over there smoked a hookah pipe and things like that. So it was kind of I'd broken my cherry of feeling not sober, and that summer I came back home and I had actually bought a little hookah pipe over there, and some buddies and I found one of their older brothers home grow, and I don't think the quality was very good. I don't remember getting high, but just the experience of it was pretty amazing. And then shortly after, I tried it again and again with other friends, and did experience the effects. And I didn't know it at the time, but I had such a perfect relationship with it. It made me feel very balanced, and I've always been like a shy, kind of socially awkward person at times, and it definitely has sort of made me feel relaxed and less anxious and just more myself. So over the years, it just became a big part of my life. And in college, I became a daily user and pretty much have been ever since. That I went to college in '06. So for 15 plus years, I've been a daily user and never planned on quitting. It's been such a big part of my life.
Hell yeah, man. I gotta ask, what's it with this Germany place? Both you and Johnny speak so goddamn highly of it.
Oh man, go there. That's all I can say.
Yeah, one of my best friends actually, who went on that trip in high school. He actually moved there and lives there full time, and is an architect in Germany.
What part of
Shout
Germany
out
did you go
Nate.
to?
I was an exchange student in Frankfurt. The only reason we went, my school didn't even offer German, and none of us who went spoke a lick of German. We just went because we had a sister school there, and we went and stayed. There was like 10 of us on the trip, and we went and stayed with 10 of their students, and then that next fall those same students came and stayed with us. So it was just like a little exchange, like a little month-long thing. So it wasn't like a full exchange student type deal, but
Right.
it was less about education and more just about experiencing the culture.
That's
Man.
awesome.
Yeah, it was very cool. My family took me to Paris one weekend. You know, I got to travel around Europe a little bit that summer, so it was great.
That's sweet. Johnny just had to join the army.
Hey,
That's all I had to do.
Well, we appreciate your service, Apple.
Yeah, me too. Not anymore.
But
when
yes.
were you in the army? What years?
Fucking long time ago. 2003? 2003 to 12. 2012.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep, did
We
2
appreciate
tours
you,
in
man.
Iraq. Yeah, those fun times. I was a cook in the army.
Oh, that's awesome.
I wasn't Alebrije level fucking cookery. I don't have the taste buds that you do, nor the knack for it, but
Well,
yeah, so slop
I'm a
cooking
trick-
was
I'm a
my
trick-
deal. As honorable
Nice.
as that seems.
Very, very honorable.
I'm incredibly spoiled by all the cooks that I know. I get to sample all your wares, and you expect nothing of me because I'm a lousy chef.
I was happy to help with the mac and cheese recipe at Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it was a killer. I thank you kindly for making me look competent.
Anytime, brother.
Yeah.
Oh man, I love some mac and cheese. I don't want to spiral down that. But
Yeah, I know. Don't start there. I'm
Jeez.
starving. But I love that. 15 years of a daily smoke user and stuff, and I'm pretty similar. I mean, I don't use all day, of course, because there's sometimes I can't. But I feel you on it. The same medicine value that you get, I also get. There's a lot to be said about its anxiety, like it's anti-anxiety helping, right? That was the weirdest way to phrase that it helps you feel less anxious.
Well, I mean, I'm one of those people who thinks it's medical, whether you know it or not, and whether you want to think it's not. If you're just using recreationally, or you think it's just recreationally, no, you are getting medicinal value out of it, whether you know it or not. Whether it's just an anti-inflammatory or a mild balancing of your endocannabinoid system in some way. It's the same like food. Any food you eat is either increasing your health or it's detrimental to your health. One or the other. It's not just neutral.
Yeah. Any day you're less stressed is a better day.
Totally.
For your health.
Yeah, and I mean, and all the recreational users out there, that's what they're doing. They're just using it to like feel relaxed and feel, have a moment of peace and clarity and
go to your
not
doctor
clarity,
and tell
maybe
them
feel really
that you want a pill for that. What are they going to do? They're going to prescribe you a fucking pill for it. What's the difference?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, yeah,
One will
so
kill
many people
you.
are on pharmaceuticals as an alternative.
Exactly. There's money in criminalizing the plant.
Oh,
that's the
100%.
That's the problem, man. Is getting that stigma broken.
It's
How do I
coming
tell my
slowly.
80-year-old grandma, like, Grandma, man, you want to fucking smoke some weed? Like,
Unfortunately,
seriously, it would help you.
I think that generation is might be beyond saving at this point
Yeah.
because they were so well indoctrinated against it. But if you look at the future generations, there's no freaking like shame in it.
No, totally.
Yeah, not
Not
like the
saying
way
that's
it
a
was.
representation of what we should all hope for. The younger generation is beyond fuck in a lot of ways, but at least the stigma of smoking weed is not there.
No, totally. And it's up to people like us who believe in it to change the stigma. And I've watched people like back in high school, I grew my first plant. My parents found out and they were, not happy about it. And then in college I was arrested for allegedly selling marijuana, and they were not happy about that. But ever since, I've still been a user, and I've preached the advocacy of its benefits, my personal benefits, to them all these years. And nowadays they use themselves at times, and those
Nice.
are open to trying an edible. And I'm grateful to have parents that are so open-minded like that, because I do hear some horror stories out there of grow friends on Instagram whose families don't accept it, and it's a shame.
Yeah, it's a tough life, especially if you're in a place that it's accepted nowhere, and you could feel like an outcast or something. Like, and generally, if you're gonna judge a plant by how a teenager does things, that's pretty piss poor, right? Like, if you judged a person by what they did as a teenager, that's just silly.
Yeah, think
Totally.
about it. Jesus Christ, if everybody judged me for everything I did as a teen.
Yeah, exactly. So to think like you're stereotyping, oh, they're just a lazy stoner or they're a drug dealer. It's like, nah, man, they were just doing dumb teenager shit. Like, we all did it. We just didn't get caught.
For real.
Well, see, now for me personally, and I know, Rev, you've quit drinking as well, but
Yeah.
I quit drinking 3 years ago. And for me
Yes,
now,
sir.
the stigma, I go around town and I see all these drunk college age kids, and I'm like, oh, they look so dumb to me now. That used to be me. That used to be cool. And like now it looks so dumb and juvenile. And, now that's my stigma. Is like, I got to be more open-minded and remember what I was like at that age. But, alcohol is a lot more detrimental to society for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. I just had a buddy over here that I hadn't seen in a while, and he's not a smoker, so it's not like nothing I pushed on him. But I showed him my whole shit, and it was just like, you see the difference between now. This is a dude who knew me when I was 21 and fucking probably ruined his wedding, like this type of close, and it was just like he sees the fucking difference there. That's the type of stigma you see. Like, people need to see that relationship. Like, look, I'm a normal fucking guy now.
Yeah.
You know
Well,
what I mean?
in my case especially, right? Drinking almost killed me on multiple occasions. And not just because I drank too much one night and got poisoning or something. No, I've never gotten alcohol poisoning like that. Like, I meant like hospital, right? Like seizures and shit from long-term drinking. And the best thing that if I had been not drinking and only smoking, my health would have had no deterioration in that way, right? So all of that was socially acceptable. But if I would have, at least when I was growing up, it would have been morally worse to smoke a joint. So it's such a confusing society that we live in sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really is.
Totally.
But alcohol also has that control over people too. Like, I was in the hospital one time and my doctor was like, man, you got to quit drinking. And I was like, nah, it's something else. And then I was back in the hospital and the doctor's like, I don't know how many times I got to tell you this. But the next time you'll probably be dead. And I was like, well, then only 2, because you can't tell a dead person anything. But I was
Jesus
good.
Christ.
I was in the hospital one time for alcohol poisoning, and I was tailgating before a football game, and I used to be a distiller, and I had made a batch of George Washington's rye whiskey recipe, and so it was like a white whiskey, a white rye, and I brought a jar of that and a big batch of weed cookies I had made, and I ate like 3 cookies and drank like half the jar and was just smashed in the game. And my wife managed to get me to an ambulance, went to the hospital, and I woke up and I ended up being okay. Part of it was I was just so stoned on the cookies. And I remember, like, the only thing I remember is like waking up and telling the nurses, like, I feel really good. It's just weed. It's okay. Like, don't worry about it. I mean, I was pretty wasted, I'm sure too, but I was thankful also for the weed. It made it not such a bad hangover the next day.
Yeah, I mean, I that sounds crazy, but yeah, that alcohol is socially acceptable. Just remember that.
Yeah, it's insane. I've never done anything so dumb and wild while being stoned. In fact, most of the time I just want to chill at home and be, watch TV or read or whatever.
The absolute worst thing you can accuse me of when I get too stoned is taking my dog for too many walks in nature.
Yeah, also a favorite activity before my daily walk.
Yeah, mine today was just your tangy before the interview. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
How's it treating you?
Oh, it's fantastic, man. I can't speak highly of it enough. I know immediately it's got to go back into rotation.
I know we're actually running low on our rosin. I haven't grown it since like my test round before the drop, and we pressed it all into rosin, and the stash is running low. But I'm about to pop off a narrow leaf round here in the next few weeks, and Tangy's definitely going to be in there, and I'm probably going to pop off a couple extra if I can fit them, just because I miss it, or I don't miss it. I got it, but I'm gonna miss it.
Yeah, you will miss it if you don't get on the train. But that's really cool, and I'm excited for all your projects. And I don't want to press you for too much information, but I do want to ask, how is that 95-foot tall Egyptian landrace doing?
So it is like hit the top of the tent and is like arching back down towards the light. But everything in there, it produced so much pollen. It's insane. I need to do a final collection and actually just get it out of there because I'm kind of worried it might be a little too much in the environment. Like every single pistil has a seed growing in there. Probably the most exciting in there that's getting hit with that Egyptian is a bubblegum queen with cheese flora, which is, I think it's going to be pretty interesting combo there.
Oh, that sounds amazing. And I know Johnny loved his bubblegum queen. And
boy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he talked about it all the time.
I also grew out Hubba Smellis from Mephisto a few years ago, and that's also like a favorite of mine. I love the ones that just nail and Bubblegum Queen. I know came from that line from the Hubba Bubba Haze, which was from that. But I love those ones that just nail that pink bubblegum flavor. It's always been, a favorite of mine.
Yeah, it's pretty really incredible. Cool, I mean, I never was like, I was so surprised like how fucking close it was to that pink bubblegum. I was like, holy shit, man.
Those are my favorite ones that like nail, a blueberry that smells just like a blueberry, a bubblegum that's just like pink bubblegum, the mangoes that's just spot on mango. Like those are the most, it's really fun to just like replicate a smell on its own. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love the complexity of some of these others as well, and there's nuances in cannabis that you just don't get anywhere else in nature. But yeah, the ones that are just like spot on like something else in nature are quite fascinating as well.
Yeah, it's a real trip, and sometimes I do like when it's overwhelming in one direction, and I don't care what that direction is a lot, only because it helps simple-minded people like myself be like, all right, I can tell you exactly what this one's like.
Yeah. I mean, it makes it really easy to, get the description and nail it on the head, and people know kind of what to expect.
Yeah. It's great
Some
stuff.
of my descriptions can get crazy. I popped some seed 2 days ago. What was it? I'm trying to remember. what the strain was. I remember turpentine, bubblegum. It was the Malawi crossed with Northern Lights #5 from Ace Seeds.
Ooh.
And I remember saying it was like pink bubblegum meets turpentine and mothballs with like a little hint of lemon lime on the back.
God,
And
man,
it was just so strange. But like I at some point I picked up each one of those smells, you know. When you're
I
sitting
wish.
there popping seeds for an hour,
Yeah,
smashing the terpenes in your nose, you tend to start to dissect it.
I was gonna say that helps a lot because I don't think I am capable of like getting that much out of it. I would just be like, my brain would stop working. Be like, I've told you it smells the same 3 times. Stop asking.
There's some where you just like it just smells like weed. Like
Yeah,
I don't know anything else to relate it to. It's just the weed is the only thing it smells like.
it's always fun.
That's what my dad always says, man. It's
Yeah.
so fucking annoying. The first time I ever got anything from him was the tangy. The first fucking time. He always goes, you know what that smells like to me? Good weed. You know what that smells like to me? Good weed. Okay, I get it. Your fucking nose is broken. I get it. But when I handed him the fucking nug of the tangy, he goes, see, now that smells fruity to me. I went, Jesus Christ. It nose does work.
Oh, nice. Well, that means a lot to me, honestly. That his first ever saying that it doesn't just smell like good weed was one of mine, because that's one of the things that takes priority for me. Is, you know, I do most of my selecting on terpenes. That's to me is like this frontier in cannabis. It's still like so much left to discover, and I think there's a lot to it. But that's so cool. I love hearing stories about your grows with your dad when you took him the tangy the other day and started dissecting the skunks he had.
Oh, yeah,
Scissors.
man. Those skunks are fun.
I thought of you as a
Scissors.
surgeon, just scissors.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
exactly what happened.
Except for instead of helping, he's destroying.
No, man.
I
those
know.
things
No,
look good.
you did a great job. I had to play the antithesis. But
Oh shit! I gotta
Nice.
check the cuts on those yet. I gotta see if there's fucking roots coming. I started to see some unfavorable shit happening in that one that doesn't look the greatest, but
Are those
everything
from
else is looking
Ag
good.
Seed?
Yep, the Ag Seed Co. Skunk #1s.
Nice.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
a
and
lot of
Padre, don't you have an original haze from them going?
Yeah, I'm not going yet, but I'm going to here soon. The original haze purple pheno, Cott's got me, so I gotta pop them, and then I gotta do an immediate open pollination on them, just to get a bunch of seed stock so that we can start working through it. Because we're gonna, in the long run, do your average haze
Yes.
with the East Coast and West Coast come together, kind of your average
Hell yeah.
haze. Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
So it'll be exciting.
I,
Who knows
I,
how long
I,
it takes?
I definitely want to get some of those some of your open pollination seeds from you.
Oh, absolutely. Already considered.
Hell yeah.
I know Kotz has a bunch of stuff coming too, and so does Johnny. But we're interviewing you, not us, man.
Yeah,
Sorry.
jeez.
Well,
No,
fire
so you
away.
said
No, no.
your first plant was high school. When did you continue grow? Have you been growing ever since then?
Off and on. I mean, I was a professional chef for a decade, and then I got into food and beverage development. Am I there?
Yep.
Sorry. Sorry. I was a chef for a decade, and I was living in apartments off and on, and so I grew at times, but very rarely. It wasn't until I became a homeowner before I like really dove in and went for it, which was about 5 or 6 years ago. So I haven't been doing it that long. But that being said, I started popping seeds in 2004, 2005. So I've learned a thing or two along the way, and I had done some just pollen chunking before, just on regular seed grows when I found a male. I was usually pretty excited to like make some more seeds. I'm a maker at heart. I love I do it with all my vegetables as well. I only grow heirloom vegetables so I can save seed and select the best one for next year and things like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, I've been growing for a while, but really just like dove into it in the last 5 years, I'd say. And the autoflowers, just I think 2019 was when I kind of got turned on to those, and then 2020 when the pandemic hit, I was like all into Mephisto and Night Owl and Rockbud and snagging up their drops. And lately, I seek a lot of different stuff. I buy from some European breeders and some landrace stuff and more obscure things, some CBD and CBG strains and things like that. As I kind of want to, veer from the path everyone else is headed. I think there's a lot of inbreeding going on and just too much high limonene, high myrcene strains, and just all these candy flavors are a bit much. And I want to seek some more authentic stuff and work more photo periods into the mix as well, just for different profiles and different cannabinoid mixes and things.
I just want to say thank you. That's amazing. But yeah, I think you're right on there's it's almost like every single time a new reg drop happens, it's like the dam opens just a little bit, but the more photo to auto crosses we can get going is just going to help everybody.
Totally. I've got one in the works. I've got a few in the works. I've got one that I'm really excited from Bloom Seed Company. I want to do more strains that lend towards rosin. My personal consumption habits have pushed in that direction, and obviously it's not a bad thing for flower lovers either, to get more resin.
Yeah, no one's gonna complain.
Yeah, I don't think there's any problems there, but
I do want to try. Bitch.
Also, if they do, you are a breeder, and fuck them, right? You're just like, oh, how dare I do it for myself?
Oh man. My shit doesn't appeal to you.
Yeah, exactly. Go fuck yourself.
Fuck off, you.
Seeing breeders like Bloom Seed Company, and have you ever seen that guy on Instagram? Like, I think it's Swale or Swale. But he does like insane trichome photos under the microscope, but just like super high quality photos of trichome heads. And they've done tons of research on just the certain types of trichome heads that like have a weak, where the weak section where the neck meets or where the stalk meets the head of the trichome. And I guess that just is the answer for extractions and hash and whatnot. So just searching for more things like that would be really interesting, and looking towards what the hash makers in the photo period world, and trying to incorporate their stuff into it.
That's awesome. So one of your photo to autos is going to be just a straight hash plant.
Well, it's excuse me. Yeah, sorry, I'm a little high. I forgot to mention it. It's papaya melons. It's papaya melons from Bloom Seed Company. So that's one specifically for hash. We got another Mazar-e-Sharif that had a very sour cherry gas kind of profile. It was just a beautiful plant. Also, traditionally selected for hash production. The Egyptian landrace project I'm working on, that was also one selected for many generations for local hash production. So I am looking for ones that lean towards hash, I guess. I think the market is headed in that direction as well. But I also see with the increased use of extracts that people need more balance, and we're whacking out our high THC, tolerances left and right. So I do see the need to incorporate some strains with CBD and CBG and whatnot in there as well, to just give everybody that balance. I found myself really enjoying those mixed ratios.
Yeah, I know a lot of people are really excited about your mixed ratio, and I think you're right about the market heading that way too. And I also don't think anyone is ever going to complain if you can get an absolute dumper from an auto.
Totally. And that's where Tangy will probably come in as a conversion for some of those at some point, because it was a great yielder as far as an auto goes.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Do you do any breeding with your vegetables at all? What size vegetable garden do you have?
So I have a 2 acre little homestead property. We've got a big chicken coop, and it's somewhat of like a permaculture garden. So I've got fig, nectarine, grapes, blueberries, raspberries, blackberries, strawberries, elderberries, probably others, olives and things, all going. Just that
Olives?
are yeah. There's one variety, the Arbequina, excuse me. Um,
Arbequina?
Arbequina,
Olive.
or at least in my zone, they're tolerant, and it's lived through years of some pretty hard frost, so it's in the gold.
We had an
Oh,
Um,
olive
shit.
tree out front of my house growing up, and we finally removed it because it was an absolute mess. It was the absolute worst, and I had to clean up after it. It was horrid.
did it not produce olives?
Oh, it wasn't a good olive. But it produced a lot, but it just all went to the ground that I had to clean up and stuff like that. But it finally got removed, not because my dad wanted to help me out, but because unfortunately it got some disease and the city had to remove it.
Shit.
Yeah, so I thought my dad was doing me a favor. He's like, "Nah, I had to." I was like, "Oh,
But
So your
that's
garden
awesome.
sounds more like it's a perennial style garden.
Well,
Shit that you don't have. Yep.
I was just listing the perennials first, but yeah,
Oh, okay, yeah.
in between
burn,
that, yeah,
burn."
I almost forgot about my pawpaw trees. Yeah, no, in between that, we do our seasonal garden. So in the spring we're doing peas, favas, carrots, greens, lettuces, beets, radishes, stuff like that. Summer, all the usuals. Tomatoes, cucumbers, squash, beans. We grow a lot of winter squash in the summer because I really like pumpkin pie, and we like to have a lot of like butternut and pumpkins on hand to make pies all fall and make pumpkin soup and things.
Fucking right on,
Um,
man.
That's awesome.
yeah, yeah, we go hard in the garden. Honestly, this last year launching Alebrije, it took a lot of my time, and I slacked on my outdoor garden more than I should have. But every time the new year starts, I always like get a big boost of motivation, and that was something I saw that I was like I missed, and I was like I need to go a little harder in the garden this year, and still save time for it.
Do you do any breeding with any of the vegetables or fruits?
I've done. I will say it's mostly been unintentional breeding. A couple of years back, I did. I called it my blue clay corn. It was Stillwell's sweet corn crossed with Oaxacan green corn, and it made this beautiful blue corn that I grew out like a second generation and self pollinated to like make a line. Um, but I haven't really grown it out since. The squirrels have like decimated my corn crop the last couple of years. I got to figure out what to do.
Fuckers. Fucking
I
tree
know,
rats.
but they didn't used
Dude, they're
to.
the
It's so
worst.
weird. It's so weird how things will change some years to the next. It's like there were always squirrels. They didn't used to get my corn. I don't know what changed, but maybe it's that damn my own breed isn't very tolerant.
Yeah.
Your
And then
corn
yeah,
is actually is squirrel crack. You didn't know, but it's the number one drug of the squirrel population, dude.
they love that blue clay.
Mhm.
Um, and then I've done some like winter squash crosses. Again, it was mostly unintentional with the help of my bees friends. Um, But one really cool one was a Cinderella pumpkin crossed with the North Georgia candy roaster, and I still have tons of seeds that I grow out of that one. Call it the
So
Pied.
when you say unintentional, basically you didn't find out till the next year when you grew out the seeds you saved from that variety. They ended up being something else.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So no, I'm not. I don't fancy myself much of a vegetable breeder, but I do grow some of my own crosses these days. But more of a pollen chucker out there.
That's awesome. So other than the corn, have you found anything else that was a total fucking keeper?
Yeah, just that I call it the Piedmont fairy tale pumpkin. Just those two really. I can't think of anything else I've even really managed to cross.
No.
I one time I got a crazy idea from a local farmer at the market who I used to talk to about weed, and he thought that okra was like close enough in family relation that he could like cross some cannabis with it, and I didn't see him for years, and so like one time I tried myself, and it was an utter bust. But there were some some traits I was looking for. I had this like Burmese okra with these pink tips, and I was gonna cross it with this pink Panama from Mephisto.
That'd be
but
funny.
Yeah, it didn't take.
Bummer.
Yeah.
Could you fucking imagine if that tasted, dude? One asshole close to the fucking okra field with a male he didn't know was a male, and now okra is the fucking.
I mean, all those little spiky things on okra that like prickle you, they're trichomes. They're just a different style. So yeah, I thought it'd be cool if it started producing just like sticky trichomes, glandulars.
I've got to be honest with you. I've never seen okra.
What? I guess not either. A Cali thing, huh?
What?
No.
Anywho, no, it's not out here in California. But I heard it's like there's like a side dish very popular in the South.
Yeah, I mean, fried okra is like the most notorious, but I just like to saute it with salt and pepper. Throw sometimes onion, tomato in there. It's really good in the summer. I like it also because it's like a huge producer, and it lasts like until the first few frosts. So it goes super late into the fall, and we just get a ton out of the plants. And whenever it's just like, what should we have on the side for dinner tonight? It's just like, let me just go grab some okra. It's just too easy.
Do you do any cannabis infusing with your cooking?
Sometimes I drink a lot of hot chocolate at night these days, and I just made like a huge batch of I do like a second and third press on my flower rosin, and I save that for edibles. And I did a big like batch of fudge for Christmas, but I've just been using it lately to make hot chocolate with, and it's been awesome. It's been like my go-to nightcap these days.
Hell yeah, you're putting it in one of those limited Alebrije mugs too, aren't you?
I don't even have one. Can you believe it? Mine is in the kiln at the moment. Apparently,
I'd hope so.
As well. Yeah, I requested one, but I've got one in the works too for Big Green Guy. Requested one, and
he doesn't get anything. I'm just kidding.
And to Bubba's Bud, the guy who actually like made the stencil, I owe him one, but Ms. Alebrije said something exploded in the kiln recently, and a few got damaged, so it's been taking a little longer than expected.
Oh no!
Oh shit!
It's the nature of it. She works.
You gotta go like fucking chip it all off.
She doesn't. Whoever at the studio she works at, the owner does all the firing in the kilns and things, and so who knows whose mistake it was, but it's the nature of it. Sometimes you gotta expect that you can't be too attached to your art.
Right. Jeez.
That sounds awesome, though. I mean, that there's a market for them, so it's always good.
but hopefully I'll get my butt going on the coffee, and maybe we'll
I'm
do a little coffee mug drop somewhere.
Are
I'm
you
excited about that.
growing the coffee yourself too?
No. I don't think I'd ever be able to produce. Well, it doesn't produce in my region, but I don't think I'd ever be able to produce the quantities. I just bought some wholesale beans. Right now, I'm just running like some test beans I've sourced. They're Mexican. They're from Veracruz. They're called La Laja Honey. And that's what I've been running as testers so far. But I've just been.
What do you got? Like a
lately
1 pound 1 pound roaster?
Yeah, it's like one of those really rudimentary, super basic. It's just got like a rotating arm on a hot plate, basically.
Yeah, hell yeah.
It looks like a big crock pot kind of thing. But my plan is to dial it in there and get it to like close enough where I kind of have a roast pattern and a roast, depth I'm going for, and then I'm gonna try to like sort of work with a local roaster here to at least like do some larger batches to release. But I just wanted to do that to start off before I like super committed to anything, because the roaster I got my eye on is kind of pricey, and I just wanted to sort of like make sure this is something I want to follow through with.
You didn't want to go down the wrong path.
Invested in it. Yeah. We're just getting started, soft and
balls deep into a pot of lava.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of great coffee out there, so I know what I'm like diving into. I'm an admitted amateur, so I'm not gonna release anything until I'm pretty stoked on it. And at first that may come with the assistance of some pros. But down the line, I would like it's something I'm passionate about and wanted to learn more about and be more involved in the process of my daily coffee, and so hopefully it's something that I'll stick with for years and upgrade my roaster, and will turn it into more of its own thing down the line. But in the meantime, I hope to just do a couple small drops this next year and have fun with it.
Oh, I definitely want in on that. I am a fucking coffeeaholic.
Yeah,
that's me too, man.
It's funny because I don't drink coffee, but I would still get it, because when I do drink a cup of coffee, right, it might as well be my buddies.
What? Yeah, hell yeah. You're gonna have somebody come over and stay at some point. They need a cup of coffee in the morning.
Yeah, exactly. I'll invite them into my tent by the side of the freeway.
So what do you drink, Rev? No coffee, no alcohol. What's your beverages of choice? Water's so boring.
Water. I do very much like water, though. I try and drink.
I love water, but
yeah, I drink water at work, right? Like I try and drink a gallon of water a day. But yeah, I drink a lot of water. But I can't sit still, and I'm constantly doing things. Plus, and if I piss all the time, if I'm doing it on the boss man's dime, it adds up. But no, I really like I really like teas, like ice, just pure iced teas. Great, none of this sweet tea. I can't do your guys' sweet tea.
I don't do much sugar these days.
I really used to like sun tea, but I've heard that sun tea is extremely risky for you. So I was like, man, maybe I shouldn't risk it anymore. So I just cold brew my tea.
Does sun tea give you fucking cancer too now in California?
No, it has something to do with it never reaching an optimal temperature. So you're just risking like a bad bacteria beer. Yeah. Gotcha. And there's no reason to do it. You could, so it was just like, yeah, I'll either cold brew it or
holy fuck, man! I grew up in a trailer park. You know how many fucking sun teas I drank?
Dude, I drank sun tea my entire childhood.
That explains what the fuck is wrong with us.
Yeah. Well,
I think
there's a lot more.
I think we built some immunity, because I'm the same. Like, we were the kids growing up who ate pizza that sat out for like 6 hours. And we're
exactly.
I think
drank out of the hose.
I still do.
I know.
I mean, that's you hit that spot on. It's right in the danger zone. Between 40 degrees and 140 is like the worst temperature for your food to be like sitting at. But so probably we've built up some like immune
community or something. Because we also drank
Yeah,
water out of the hose, right? And like did all kinds of crazy things that I'm sure people would talk badly about now, but we're all still alive for the meantime. Although
totally.
it'll later come out that humans are capable of living to like 250 if we only didn't drink out of plastic hoses.
Yeah.
I can imagine the BPA we consume.
Oh,
My poor
it's
grandpa
terrible.
would have been 100 instead of 99. Poor guy.
Yeah,
Fucking
poor guy.
garden hose drinker.
I mean, on that note, over the years, getting cannabis from all sorts. I lived in Australia and I lived in Spain and England and Mexico, and I've sourced cannabis from shady sources many times. And looking back, especially in Mexico, I remember smoking some pretty crap weed that gave me headaches and things, and so I'm sure it had some gross pesticides and things on it. So that's another great reason that I was just
Oh
thinking
yeah.
of, right? Why I love growing my own now. I mean, the reasons are endless, but
I was going to ask you if you grew that way in your garden. I guess you just answered that. So I take it you're full organic out in your garden?
yeah, I only add compost and mulch. Pretty much is it. I buy my city does uses all the leaf and limb pickup to make like they do industrial compost, and it's like $10 for a truck bed full. So I get that, and once per year I'll lay it on all my. I just have like beds that I maintain out in the garden, and four of them have like big trellis arches for cucumbers and peas and beans and things like that. So I do a layer of compost and then a layer of mulch, and then just keep it weeded. And I mow around the sides, and that's pretty much all we do to maintain it.
That's
Hell
awesome.
yeah, man. Fuck
I'm
yeah.
so jealous of you guys with garden space.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean,
I've got
that's why I moved back to where I live,
yeah.
is because I could have a better quality of living at a better price.
It is not just a better quality of living, but it also like makes you live longer, right? Studies constantly show that being around nature in any capacity extends your life, but especially when you're gardening something and you get the satisfaction of either consuming it, any way you want, or doing other stuff with it. I lost my train of thought. Fuck you,
No,
Tangy.
you hit it
Fuck
on the
you,
head.
Tangy.
No, you nailed it, man. I love. There's no better feeling than like at dinner time, literally, and going to like cut the salad minutes before eating it.
Oh yeah.
And
Everything tastes better.
yeah, and it's just it has those microbes are still in there. We don't always do the best job, and you don't need to. I've worked on several organic farms where we just like pull a carrot out of the dirt and just like chomp it down right there.
Oh yeah.
It's
The
okay.
the
It's okay to get some of those microbes.
the absolute best carrot I've ever eaten in my life was straight out of the ground, just wiped off with my hand. And it was like the first time I had ever had an overly sweet carrot. And I was just like, oh my God, this is why don't we only eat these kind of moments,
Isn't
And
it crazy? It's like super
yeah.
floral and rosy. It's
Yeah.
got like really high geraniol is the terpene in there. That's just the same terpene in roses, and it's just so aromatic and like a fresh carrot straight out of the ground. Love it.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite vegetables for a reason. And whenever you tell someone that, they're like, what? That's weird. I'm like, no, you're getting not good carrots.
Oh yeah. And we use all the greens we make. That's like our spring pesto before the
Ooh.
basils come around in the summer. We use the carrot top to make a carrot top pesto. Oh, it's so good.
That
You
sounds
make it
really
like the
good.
exact same way you would with basil, but with the carrot tops.
Well, I hope if you learn nothing from us ever, it's that recipe, because that sounds good.
Oh, no, you guys are awesome. I learned all about worms a few weeks ago. I learned about crystals on Girl Go Grow's episode. I learned every episode.
That's why we have guests to make us
I
seem
know.
fucking smarter. We
The
want
only
people to
reason.
value what we have to offer here, so we just get people to offer shit for us.
I would say I learned the labs from Rev, but I admittedly knew that one.
See, and that's the thing. It's such a if one person learns, I'm glad because it's such common knowledge.
I'm so
But
glad you shared the process. I think it is such an easy, important one that everybody should be making themselves and using.
oh,
Why not?
absolutely, it's so simple, and it can be used for anything.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of stuff out there that's like that. Again, the tangy got me. What the fuck were we talking about?
Dude, you're on fire.
Love it, man.
We were talking about how we fail to educate the public and we make our guests do it for us, and you spiraled down some rabbit hole about labs. That's where I lost my train of thought.
There we go. See, your average grow. No, that's a good thing, man. We're just having our good. That's how you know we're really friends with a guest, is when it's not all professional, because we're just hanging out with our buddy.
Yeah.
Normally I get a little nervous to chat with podcasters, but you guys, it's just like chatting with friends.
Exactly. Terrible, terrible friends.
Who are all smoking your weed.
Yeah, it's all smoking your weed. And after we'll ask you for $20. No, I'm just kidding.
$20 and some coffee beans.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. It's an honor that you guys are lit on tangy.
Yeah, it's great stuff.
Dude, man, I got to tell you, my fucking F1s, man, whatever I did with that clover and stunting those, I was so disappointed because, dude, the fucking smoke on those F1s are just, they're way more fruity than what my F2 ended up being, and I prefer the fruitier terps than I do, but my F2 ended up with, like, some garlicky funk to it. It's hard to explain. Yeah, I mean it's super fucking fruity still, but there's like a garlic funk to it that's, yeah, I don't know, it's fucking, but yeah, it's all fucking crazy good shit. That mystery thing, it doesn't have any funk to it. It's very fruity, floral, whatever it is.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I've given up trying to like guess what the mysteries are. There's too many variables in there.
God only knows, because I put that thing through the ringer too with it, whatever soil it was in, but she took it. I had some sort of fucking burn. Yeah, it's something funny, but
I saw a pretty picture of it today, man.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. You take them purdy pictures.
The black and white one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good shit, man.
Very nice.
I can't wait to fucking get her hanging too. I want to fucking try her.
Someone needs to isolate that audio and just replay it. I can't wait to get her hanging too. Some scary shit, dude.
Yeah, no
that
shit.
That could be a promo for the episode.
Yeah, right. We would never stoop to that kind of bullshit.
Yes,
it would take will. Oh, there is no way. I put my foot down on this for no reason. Johnny, where were we with the questions? So, do you remember?
Yeah. What's your first seed you ever planted, and why was it an apple seed?
No.
First seed was not an apple seed. First seed ever was, I think I was like 4 years old. It was the lima bean. We put it. It's actually, yeah, it was a great lesson because it's literally how I still germinate my seeds today, which is in a wet paper towel folded up in a little bit of plastic wrap. And back then, in 4-year-olds, we like hung them in the window, which is actually a really cool trick. If you like do the wet paper towel method and you hang it up in a window, the taproot will grow straight down. And it makes for a super easy planting. I usually don't do that because I'm lazy, but yeah, that was my first seed, lima bean.
No shit. Did it grow to fruition? Did I miss you saying that?
Honestly, don't really remember. Yeah, I think so.
He was
4.
Yeah.
I was 4 years old. I think we all like planted them in a little pots, and they grew in our little classroom window.
Yeah. What's your favorite pie, and why is it apple?
It's not apple.
Hell yeah.
I actually mentioned it.
Damn
I
it.
actually mentioned it earlier. My favorite pie is pumpkin, and it's not just any pumpkin. It's my own recipe, and it's made with my homegrown butternut squash. And the key is just like getting the puree super smooth, and then it's just like a really nice rich custard. And my wife always does a badass homemade crust for it.
Time out. There's butternut squash in pumpkin pie.
No. But butternut is just another type of winter squash. It's another variety.
Yeah,
of
when you
pumpkin.
said that earlier on, I wanted to fucking say something so bad, but I'm like, no, that's for the pie question. I'm gonna hear it there for sure. Like, I didn't assume butternut in pumpkin pie. I was like, what?
It just has like pumpkin just has like a little more of a watered down flavor. I feel like the butternut is just like a little bit more pop, and I
Is
roast
the
it
pie
in
still
butter.
orange?
The pie is like a brown, kind of a tan brown.
Well, now it's
Um,
just too fancy for the likes of us.
but if you tried it, it's so good. You'd love it. My wife didn't like pumpkin pie, and now it's her favorite as well.
I'm
No
not a
shit.
pumpkin pie fan, but anything that you cook, I will try.
Mm-hmm.
I'd venture to say that every pumpkin pie you've ever had was using that same store-bought canned pumpkin, and that's
Oh, I
the
bet.
reason they suck. Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, I don't like those pumpkin pies really either. But
Yeah, but the important thing is it's not an apple pie.
yeah, apple pie just doesn't do it for me, Johnny. It's a little too standard, I think.
I'm not even gonna bother asking, but I am gonna bother asking. God damn it! What's your favorite fruit, and why is it apple?
It's actually watermelon, I think.
Ooh.
Really?
Yeah, which is a controversial one, and I think it's rooted in my just childhood and summer memories of being at the beach and the pool, and it's a textural thing. I love the texture of watermelon.
That's an interesting one. Do you
You're not
do
a
you grow
watermelon
it?
guy?
No, I can't do watermelon.
I mean,
Oh
I
my
like
God.
watermelon.
No,
but
I like the taste. And
like there's a
just
lack
the texture.
of like. Yeah, there's something missing. I mean, if watermelon tasted like the fruit, if it's like the fucking goddamn banana,
Yeah.
that Captain Autoflower's always fucking talking about, then yeah, I want to try watermelon like that because I like fruity fucking or candy
Mhm.
watermelon, but an actual watermelon is far from candy watermelon.
Nah, and it is that subtle,
However,
sweet, refreshing quality that I like.
in Aqua Fresca, it's phenomenal.
Oh yeah. No, I
It-
I usually get a lot of scoffs when I tell people my favorite fruit is watermelon. They're always shocked, but again, I think
Well,
there's some.
we don't
How
wanna
dare
make-
you not favor what they
Yeah.
favor? How
We
dare you
don't-
not like apple?
We don't want to make you feel bad, but you're wrong.
I will say the best bite of fruit I ever had was mango, and it was like
Ooh.
one that had literally just fallen off the tree moments before. This was in Oaxaca, Mexico, and
Oh,
we were swimming at the pool, and there was a mango tree hanging over, and a mango fell off, and I ate it. I was pretty stoned, but it was like
I will.
the best mango ever.
I think that sounds a lot like the
I just had an
environment, and not so. It could have been a grapefruit, but it also sounds like it was an amazing time. So you might be mixing those. It's like my dad always says, right? The best beer my dad ever had was a cold Coors Light, and he goes, he hates Coors, and he's had better beers, but he was really, really thirsty, and it was really hot outside.
Oh yeah, man, those are the fucking best, man. When you're dripping
I used to love
sweat,
Silver
it's
Bullet in
fucking
college, man.
humid. Yeah.
Yeah, I drank a lot of those in my life, but then I moved on to the clear vodka was what was gonna kill me. Cheap vodka,
Yeah.
man. Loved it.
Yeah,
But
whiskey.
yeah.
I had a bad experience when I was in Germany with fucking vodka and Red Bull. Me and my roommate pounded
Oh.
a fucking bottle like within a half hour, like 4 cans of Red Bull and a fucking fifth
Oh.
of vodka. Yeah.
The amount of sugar and alcohol in your system, holy shit.
I woke up in a puddle of poo. Let's just say that.
I don't know if it's the same way with you. But looking like as when I was like drinking at my heaviest before I was got sober, the thought of mixing sugar with alcohol would just kill me because I was like, I don't want to wake up more hungover.
Yeah, that was my
Yeah, the thought is disgusting to me.
Yeah,
I would,
just
you
like
know, in my worst moments, I was drinking the equivalent of like Everclear with like flavorless sparkling water.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, mine. I was literally the low. I would get a handle the lowest shelf vodka, even cheaper than Pop Off, and then I would get like a small tea, like just a regular Lipton tea, and I would just drink that, and it was the fucking worst. But it didn't have
Yeah,
sugar in it.
don't miss those days.
did the
Right?
job.
No, not at all.
Man.
Yeah, thank God I've stopped, and I think we can all agree that cannabis as a medicine helps greatly. And I think
Oh
all
yeah,
three of us.
it would have been hard.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it would have been
all three.
hard to give it up without the assistance of cannabis. I will say
Absolutely.
that for sure.
And all three of us are much better off without it.
No doubt.
Oh, absolutely, man. No doubt.
But not to end on some weird message because we don't care what you do personally. Do you have anything that you want to share? Any exciting things coming up? Or just want to plug yourself?
Well, the most exciting thing coming up soon is we will be. We're not far off. February 10th is going to be the announcing of our winners of the Tangi Tibaguana Grow Along. And so I think I'll be returning to the circle around.
We'll be doing it on the
time,
circle,
so
yeah. Hopefully around that time.
we'll be discussing it. And then in April 6th, we're going to be dropping the Balanced Gatuga and the Sour Perezoso, which is my dog walker, my oldest photo period to autoflower project, which is in its F4 form coming out.
Wow, that's awesome.
Hell yeah, dude.
I'm excited, and
Excited for him.
And they can find you at your website.
Yeah, alebrijegenetics.com or on Instagram, alebrije.genetics. And we got a Discord page too. If you're listening to this, I'm sure you can navigate via the Average Grow Discord.
Yeah, if you need help, we're all connected. So just let us know.
No doubt.
But yeah, thank you so much.
I appreciate you guys.
I appreciate you too. Before we go, Padre, why doesn't he stick around for that Sunday sermon?
Oh shit! Yeah, I completely forgot. I thought I would get out of here without having to do one.
No, you won't.
I got a good one in the spirit of having Alebrije here, right?
Yeah.
I would say that if you're involved in the community at all and you reach out and make friends, it only benefits you in the long run because you get new friends and you can help them with their stuff and they help you with yours. That was completely just made up and rambling and it was terrible, but don't be a dick, mind your own business and go with Frog.
Thanks, Alebrije, for coming on, man.
Thank you so much, dude.
It was a pleasure to fucking chat it up with you and bend your ear on the garden and listen to your story, man. It was a fucking absolute pleasure.
We'll have you back here soon.
I look forward to it. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody, for listening. Peace.